Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Amit Surana and I am here to give you some very worthy information, something that will help you prepare for your CAT, and not only CAT but then in general also. This would give you some idea, some perception about how you should go ahead with your preparation and what should be your planning. This session would also help you understand what should be your aim, what is a realistic aim and what would be beyond realistic. Yes. And at the same time, we would also talk about what would be the things that would affect your percentile. Yes. So if you all are ready, quickly send in a hi, quickly send in a thumbs up. Let me know that you are game for the session and let us begin this right away. Today is a Sunday. I understand a lot of you would have had a Sunday evening plan, and because you have taken some time out of your busy schedule, out of your personal time to spend it with me, I would want to thank you guys for doing that. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for shifting things around in your schedule, changing a few things up and down just because you wanted to see me live. Hello Khushbu, hi Lakshya, hi Prasanjit, hello Vijay, Shilpa, Miss Granger, hello, hi Harsh, hello Ankush, hello Paras, Hardik, hello guys, hi. So far, you guys would have been preparing for your CAT, right? We are as close as 5 months to CAT, and by now you should have at least had everything in perception. But do not worry if you are not already on track. Yes. This session would give you a perception. This would give you a distant view of what you should be looking at. Yes, what should be your aim, how far is the aim from you, and what would be the things that you would require to push yourself towards it. Yes. So I welcome you all to this session. If there's anyone who has not seen me before, who does not know me, it becomes my obligation to introduce myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. My name, ladies and gentlemen, is Amit Surana. I am an aeronautical engineer from Chennai, and I've been doing this for over 6 years. For over 6 years, I've been training people on quantitative aptitude for various competitive exams, including CAT. And I have helped over 2 lakh students achieve all their goals. Everything that they had in their mind, they are now satisfied with wherever they are. If you're planning on sharing this on any of your social media platforms, guys, please do not forget to use hashtag CAT Live Daily, and do not forget to tag yours truly. So that was about me. I've been taking sessions on Unacademy's CAT channel for over a month now, and I've been having a great time. Yes. And based on a lot of questions, a lot of queries that I take on a daily basis, yes, the maximum questions are inclined towards what should be the good score, right? What should be a good score, or what should be the good score in CAT that would fetch me a percentile that would let me into the top B schools. And we are talking about IIMs, we are talking about SPJs, we're talking about IMTs, we're talking about all the top colleges, right? We're talking about FMS and all that. Yes. So when you have this question as to what should be my score, right? Because how CAT and its scoring works is a little different from how scoring has been in your life, around your life all this time. Yes. So your school scoring would have probably been based on percentage, or would have based on a grading system. Yes. And when you moved on to your undergraduate, which I think some of you are already pursuing it, and some of you are graduates, right? So if you are one of these categories, you have to be one of these 2 categories to be able to take CAT, right? Probably in 2020 or in 2021. Yes. So if you are a graduate, or if you are pursuing your graduation, yes, your scoring would have been on a GPA level, right? Grading system again. Yes. But how CAT works is a little different from other tests, and the scoring would also change here, right? So here we do not anymore use the term percentage, or we do not talk about how much score was one able to get. Instead, what we talk about is percentile. So today we are going to talk everything about CAT's percentile, everything that one must know about CAT's percentile in order to be able to achieve the goal. So in order to achieve the goal, you've got to set a goal first, right? And in order to set a goal, you need to know what the goal is. Yes. So this session will ensure that you now have a clearer picture if your picture was already a little foggy. Yes. So this will remove all possible distortions from your aim, and you would be able to have a direct look at what should be your goal. Yes. Hello. Hi, Harsh. Superb. So I understand that there are engineers here right now, people who are pursuing their engineering. Yes, there are also people who are non-engineering background. Yes, people who come from commerce or arts background. Yes, a very warm welcome to all of you. You know that this test and this session is for everyone, right? Whether you are an engineering graduate or not, yes, this session is for everyone. To be frank, if you look at the history, not many engineers used to take this up because MBA was poles apart from what technological education used to be, right? But then science and technology had to meet business at one point in time, and ever since then, engineers have also started taking CAT. Yes, all the engineers taking CAT, and I don't know if this would be a little boastful or what, but then all the top scores have been taken up by them, right? But this should not stop the non-engineers from taking this test, and this should not stop you from proving the stereotype or proving this trend down, right? So you have to, if you are from a non-engineering background, you have to work hard enough, yes, to prove that you don't have to be an engineer to crack CAT. Yes. Right. Himanshu, you can take up CAT, but not right now. Yes, in order to be eligible to take up CAT, you have to be in your final year, which means in 2020, if you will be graduating, yes, then that, or in 2021 in that matter, right? Not 2021. In 2020, if you're graduating, then you can take CAT this year. Yes. Please understand that the score of CAT is valid only for a year. Yes. Unless and until you're planning on taking one just for the kick of it, or just to identify what kind of questions are asked, right? Then no issues. Otherwise, you have to minimum be in your final year or pre-final year in order to take CAT. Yes. All right. So I will talk about everything. I will talk about everything that you will require in order to uh, get your answers, get your questions answered. Right? Do not worry about it. Yes. All right. Okay. So let's begin. First, let's talk about what is percentage and what is percentile, right? This is the common confusion. A lot of us think that percentile is just a fancy word for percentage. Yes, a fancy word, probably French for percentage, right? But that's not true. Yes, these are two separate quantities, both quantities used for comparison, but these are used in two different situations. Yes, so let me give you an example of this, right? Of course, Nikhil, you can go ahead and take CAT this year. Of course you can. Yes. All right. Okay. So let's talk about what percentage is and what percentile is and what is the difference between both of these, right? So let's take an example. Let's say there is a Mr. X, right? There is a Mr. X who has probably taken CAT this year. Yes. So he has taken CAT this year, and how much has he scored in CAT? He has scored. So everyone knows that the maximum score, is 300, right? There are 100 questions asked, from VARC, that is verbal, from logical reasoning and data interpretation, and from quantitative aptitude. total of 100 questions are asked, right? Now, of these 100 questions, out of these 100 questions, each question that you answer correct, you would get 3 marks for that, which means the maximum you can get is 300. Yes, but then 300 is not possible. 300, the questions are set in such a way that it makes it impossible for anyone to get a 300 on 300. Yes, also there is time constraints. Some of the questions are intentionally put in such a way that people may not be able to answer it in the given time, right? So keeping all of these in mind, let's assume that Mr. X, yes, let's call him Mr. X. Yeah, Mr. X scores 150 out of 300. Yes, so technically what happens here, if we calculate the percentage, right? If we calculate the percentage, 150 out of 300 is basically 50% of score. Yes. So this person, Mr. X, was able to score 50%. Yes. But then, would his percentile be similar to the percentage? Of course not. Yes. Why? The same 150 out of 300. Yes, the same 150 out of 300, according to some trends that we've seen in the past, would actually fetch Mr. X the 95th percentile. Yes, so 150 out of 300 can actually fetch someone a 95th percentile. That basically means what? That percentage and percentile are not similar. Yes. So I hope this is clear, right? This is clear that percentage, percentile, two different concepts altogether, right? So someone who would be getting 50% of scores, right, would not get the 50th percentile in CAT. Why? Because his percentile would be 95th there. Yes. And there are a lot of reasons that would, increase or drop one's percentile. And we will talk about that in time being. Yes. So now let's ask ourselves why. Yes. Why isn't percentage and percentile similar? Yes. Now the logic here relates to a lot of concepts, right? And one of the concepts is the difficulty level of the test. Yes. So you would have noticed that the CAT paper in a specific year was actually a little more difficult than usual. Yes. So when that happens, they cannot drop, right? They cannot keep changing their cutoff so oftenly, right? They can't change, universities, B schools cannot change their cutoff so frequently that it becomes very confusing for the people, right? So instead, what they rely on is percentile, that is actually comparison of one score, not with the total, but with the rest of the scores, right? So here the answer to this why is what? 50% is calculated on the total score. Yes. So out of 300, 50% is 150. Yes. That's how our 10th or our 12th or our, pre-college or junior college scores would have been, right? In terms of percentage. Yeah. That basically means what? The only benchmark that test considers is the total marks. Yes. So out of 100, if someone scores 50, yes, 50% would have been the score there. Yeah. But since CAT is a competitive exam and it would decide whether or not an individual is eligible to be a part of a B school or not, whether he or she can get admitted in a B school or not, right? Especially the IIMs. Yes. So that is the reason why they have compared it to the rest of the scores and not with the total score. Yes, because every time the difficulty level keeps fluctuating, every time the applicants level also keeps changing, right? And because they don't want a generalized statement that if you get 60% and above, you've scored good, right? So to change that perception, yes, percentile is compared to other applicants' score. Yes. So when you get 95th percentile, yes. So when I say 95%, it actually seems very, high class, right? It seems like someone has achieved almost 100%. Yes. But when I say 95th percentile, it basically means something else. Yes, it has nothing to do with the total score. So a person can score very less compared to the total score. yet get more than 90 percentile. Yes. So this session will help you. This session will help you overcome all these misunderstandings. Yes. And we will talk about what is percentile and what would be required for you to achieve it. Yes. So let's first begin understanding what percentile is. Yes. So let's take the entire score stick, right? The entire score stick, 300 marks. Yeah. We know that not anyone has scored 300 yet. Yes. To be able to get the 100th percentile, yes, people have to get somewhere around 240 to 245. Yes, which basically means what? It is not 100 percentage of the score. Yes. So if you get somewhere around 80 to 75 to 80 percentage of the total score, right, you get the 100 percentile. Yeah. So look at here, if the so here, if you see, let's imagine that this is you. Yes. If this is you, what is happening here? Your score, yeah, this is the first score. Yes, this is the top score, first score. This would be the second score. Yes, this is the third score. This is the fourth score. Yes, so what is happening here? Your score is the fifth. Yes, your score is fifth from the top. That basically means what? That your score is better than the rest of the applicants. So let's assume a total of 1,000 applicants have taken the test, right? So percentile is not calculated upon how many registrations happen. Instead, it is calculated upon how many people appeared for the test, right? So let's assume 1,000 people have appeared for the test, out of which your score is the fifth. Yes, so your score is what? Your score is fifth. That basically means what? Your score is better than 995 other people. Would you agree? Yes. Would you agree that your score would be better than 995 other people? Yes. So if you score better than 995 other people, then your percentile would be what? Compared to the total applicants, right? Or compared to the total attendees of this test, yes, your percentile would be how much? 99.5. Do you get this? Yes. So if there are 1,000 people, yes, provided there are 1,000 people, yes, and it's not 1,000 ever, yeah. So if along with you 1,000 or 999 other people have taken the CAT along with you, yes, so including you, 1,000 people have taken, but your score is in the top 5. Yes, your score is in the top 5 scores. That basically means what? So out of 1,000, your score is the fifth. Yes, mind you guys, this is it talks about what your score is, what is the position of your score, and not your individual rank. Because if you see, there are 1 2 3 4 5 people who have scored above you in this example, right? There are 5 people who have scored above you in this. That does not mean yours is the 6th rank. No. Why? Because how this work is, whoever gets a score around the percentile, let's say 240, right? I'm just giving you an example. This has nothing to do with a prediction, right? So if I say 240 is the 100th percentile, yes, 100th percentile, this basically means what? Anyone who has gotten 240 or approximately 240, yes, would have the 100th percentile rank, which means there could be multiple people having the same percentile. Yes, that does not happen when it's a rank basis, right? On a rank basis, what happens? People's rank get either increased or decreased based on some other criterions also, right? But here there is no such case. Multiple people can have the same percentile score. Yes. Now, how is this percentile calculated, right? This, to be frank, directly has nothing to do with your raw score. Yes, when I say has nothing to do directly with, it is one of the factors. Your raw score is one of the factors. Yes, so your individual scores in each section, yes, they are normalized. Yeah, they using standard deviation and using mean, right? What is done is they are normalized into an average score, right? So once the average score is there, yes, then your score is compared to every other score. Yes, so your score is compared to every other score, and then a rank is given to your score. Got it? So if your rank is 5th out of 1000, that basically means you're better than what? 995 other people. Yes, so your percentile depends upon what? Your percentile depends upon how better were you able to perform than your competitors. Yes, although it may sound a little, selfish, right? A lot of people might think that this seems a little, self-centered. Yes, of course it is a little. Yes, but then it all depends upon how you perceive this. Yes. All right, so if you are clear what percentile is, yes, let's talk about what would affect your CAT percentile. Yes, so there are multiple factors, but the top factors that would affect your CAT percentile are: one, the difficulty level of the test. Yes, the difficulty level of the test would definitely define what your percentile is going to be, and it will affect, either it will increase your percentile or drop your percentile. Yes. Number two, what would matter are the total aspirants, right? Total aspirants, not total applicants. Yes, applicants are the people who apply, register for the test, but then not every one of them turn up. Yes, so the total aspirants, total number of people who have attended the test, right? That would, decide your percentile also. Yes, and their scores would matter. Yes, so not only the aspirants, but how much did they score? Yes, whether they've scored better than you or have they scored lower than you, that would also matter, right? So this is pure comparison. Yes, and what else would define your top score? Yes, because the top score is always given the 100th percentile. Yes, technically not anyone can get 100th percentile, right? According to the logic of math, nobody can get 100th percentile, but let's say you have scored, right? Let's say that there are 2 lakh applicants, right? Or 2 lakh attendees, out of which you were able to score better than 1.99 lakh people. Yes, or even worse, 1.999 lakh people. Yes, then in that case your score would be what? Yes, this would be what? 99.99999. Yes, so this would be approximated as what? 100 percentile, not percentage, percentile. Got it? Yes, so technically not anyone can score 100 percentile, but approximately the top score is given as the 100th percentile. Yes. All right. Okay. So now that we've understood this, right, let's talk about each of these factors. Yes. This session is more of a fact-based session than an opinion-based session, right? Because I am someone, and even you should start considering facts more than opinions of people. Yes. So what I have ensured is this session is more towards facts and not towards opinions. Yes. Of course, guys, everything, difficulty level, the aspirants, the top score, everything would matter here, right? So let's talk about the difficulty level, right? That's the first factor. Now, these are not in the same order, but this is the first factor, right? Towards all these 3 years, right? 2017, 18, and 19, we've seen this specific trend. Yes. So what has happened? You know that these tests are taken in 2 slots, right? One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Yes, or in the evening, whatever you want to call it, right? Slot A, B, or slot 1, 2, whatever. Yes. So in the first slot and the second slot, there have been a lot of changes, right? When they say changes, we talk about the number of MCQ questions, the number of type in the answer questions. Yes, there have been a change in that. Also there have been a change in the section, right? The section, I mean, when I say section, I mean section of a particular, let's say quant, right? So if I take quant, yes, the number of questions that should be in algebra, the number of questions that should be in arithmetic, yes, and so on. Yes, this have also been changed, right? All these changes we've been able to see in the first and the second slot of the same day. Yes, of the same year and the same day, which means throughout the year there have been some trends in the pattern, right? So let's see here what I've done. What I've done here is on a scale of 1 to 3, right? On a scale of 1 to 3, yes, the difficulty level of each of these sections are mentioned. So 1 being easy, that means you would easily be able to answer more than 25 questions. Yes. So out of 34 questions, right, you would be easily able to answer more than 25 questions. Level 2 is when you're able to answer more than 18 questions. Yes, and level 3 is extremely difficult. That means not more than 15 questions were answerable in that particular section. Yes. So this is the trend of the difficulty level. So see here, in the year 2017, the DILR paper, the DILR section was actually the most difficult. Yes, it was on a scale of 1 to 3, it was at a 3 in both sections. Yes, in both slots. But VARC and quantitative aptitude were on a level 2, which means what? An easy 18 questions you can answer. Yes, so both VARC were easy to moderate and quantitative aptitude were easy to moderate, right? So that was the difficulty level. Now, when the difficulty level changes, automatically what happens? The score would change, right? So here on a scale of 1 to 3, DILR gets a 3, which means not more than 15 questions, right? That means somewhere around 45 marks, right? Somewhere around 45 marks would have been the highest score that anyone could have achieved. Do you understand me? Yes, so somewhere around 45 marks would have fetched you what? The 100th percentile or whatever, 99th percentile or whatever, right? Got it? The second slot of that particular year was similar, 2, 3 and 2. But the very next year, what happened? The VARC, verbal aptitude, was easy to moderate in both slots. The DILR, yes, data interpretation and logical reasoning, was on a level 2, which means moderate to difficult. Yes, but then the quantitative aptitude section was extremely difficult. Yes, so everyone knows that the 2018's CAT paper is one of the most difficult ones. Yes, so here people were actually struggling, right? People were actually struggling here. Yes. And in 2019, what happened? A similar trend was seen, but then the difficulty level dropped a little bit. Yes, but subjectively, it was still at a 1, 2, and 3. Yes, so here people were able to answer somewhere over 80. Yes, but here not more than 50. Got it? Yes, so this is how difficulty level keeps changing every single time, right? The difficulty level does not remain the same. So you will not be able to predict anything before seeing the questions in front of you, right? There's no possible prediction unless and until someone who has made the paper comes and tells you, and the IIMs ensure that that doesn't happen. Yes. Now let's move on to the second factor that affects your CAT percentile, that is the total aspirants, right? So let's see a trend in the number of people who've registered for CAT, yes, and the number of people who've shown up for the test, right? The number of registered as well as the applicants, right? So totally, yes, 2.31 lakh. So these are all in lakhs, right? So totally 2.31 lakh people had registered in 2017, but only 1.99 lakh people turned up for the test. Yes. In the second case in 2018, look at this. From 2.31, it has increased to 2.41, right? Which basically means what? There were about 10,000 people more who had given the test. Yes. So if more people had given the test, what would have happened? The test would have been more competitive, right? This basically could be the reason why 2018's paper was actually a little difficult, especially when it comes to QA. Yes, just an assumption. Yeah. In 2019, it again increased to 2.44 lakh people. Yes. So 2,44,000 people had applied for the test, but only 2 lakh could show up. Yes. This basically means, look at this trend, and if you look at 2016, 15, right, the number has only been on an upscale. Yes. The number of people who are registering has only increased. As per my assumption, right, in 2020, there will be more than 2.5 lakh people who would apply for the test. Why? Thanks to the lockdown, right? Thanks to the lockdown, because people have had enough time and they didn't have to spend it anywhere outside. A lot of them have, thought about upskilling themselves, just like you guys have. Yes, you guys have thought, right? Itna time mila hai mere paas. I have so much time here. I can invest this time in something more productive. Yes, so that could have been one of the reasons why you decided on, taking CAT 2020. Yes, so this year we will see an increase in the number of registrants, right? People who register for the test. Yeah, this also matters. This also matters because this will decide this. Yes, how many people take up the test will ultimately affect your percentile. Yes. So what do you have to pray, if at all you're praying for it? What do you have to pray? One, less number of people should apply, and whoever is applying should be less capable than you, right? So you have to pray not just for this but also for this. Yes. Okay, jokes aside, right? You understand how this would affect your CAT percentile, right? Now let's look at the third factor. The third factor here would be what? The scores of the aspirants. Yes, the scores of the aspirants would definitely decide, right? What should be your score? Yes, what is your percentile? Yes, because why? So sometimes just giving you an example, right? If at all the top score, right? If at all the top score was, let's say, okay, let's talk about your score, right? Let's talk about your score. If at all you have scored on a 300, you have scored somewhere around 180. Yes, this could sometimes fetch you the 98th, 99th percentile. Yes, and in some other cases the same score, or the other way around, right? Somewhere around 160 can also fetch you 98th to 99th percentile. Yes. So what does it depend upon? How many people were below your score? Yes, so how many people have scored less than 160 would decide what your percentile is going to be. Yes, so the scores of the aspirants also matter here. Yeah, that basically means what? You will have to not only score better than yourself, but you will have to score better than the others as well. Yeah, that basically means you will have to rely a lot on mock tests. Yes, you will have to rely upon a lot of mock tests, especially where they do some good analysis of it. Yes, because just taking a test would not make any sense. Yes, you need to take a test and the analysis should be so detailed that you would be able to understand what are the weak areas, what are the strong areas. Yes, how would I be able to achieve better than the others? Yes, got it. And also the top score would also affect your percentile, not directly of course. Yes, but then it will decide what would have been the maximum score, right? So this would decide what would have been the maximum score, ultimately talking about the difficulty level also. Yes, so let's look at the trend again, 2017, 18 and 19. Let's see how these scores, right, the top scores have changed and how many people were able to get it. Yes, which is extremely important here, right? So in 2017, the maximum score was 232 and it was achieved. So this is the 100th percentile, right? So 100th percentile was achieved by 20 people in 2017. Yes, why? Because the paper in 2017 was comparatively easier than the last year and the year before that. Yes, but in 2018, what happened? The highest score was 243, which is a big bump. Yes, the 100th percentile was the score at 243, which is almost 10 marks more. That means close to 3 or 4 questions were answered right. Yes, more than the previous year. But only 11 people could make it. Yes, only around 10 people could make it. Yes, so 10 people were able to get the highest score. That basically tells us a lot about what? That particular test. Yes, this tells a lot about that particular test. The highest score was 243, but the next score, right? The next score, that is somewhere over 99.9 percentile. Yes, over this, right? So 99.5 percentile over this was actually a very bad score, right? So it was somewhere around 210. Yes. So that is the difference. So these 10 people were able to get the score that would not decide the rest of the scores directly, but then it will tell us a lot about the difficulty level. Yes. And the last year the results were out just in Jan, right? 238 was the highest score, right? 238 was the highest score that would have decided the 100th percentile. And what have we seen? About 11 people were able to achieve it. Yes. Again here the 99.5th percentile, right? The 99.5th percentile was actually very close to the highest score. Yes, it was somewhere more than 230. Yes, it was more than 230. Yeah. So this basically again tells us more about the test, right? One or two questions up or down can happen, and that would directly affect your percentile, of course. Yes. So what would you have to keep in mind here, guys? What would you have to keep in mind here? You will have to ensure that starting today, if you haven't already started preparing, starting today, you have to ensure that you take mock tests on a daily basis, right? You prepare whatever you're preparing, but apart from that, you need to take a full length mock test at least once every week. Yes, so only if you take that once every week, you will be able to put a graph of yourselves and see which areas where you improving, which areas where your scores dropping, right? Ultimately, it would do what? It would give you an idea about where you stand. Yes. And it's very important that you know where you stand in order to score the score that you have always aimed for. Yes. So your aim should not be just blindly, it should not be just blindly based on random ideas. Yes, it should not be based on random ideas. You should not wake up one fine day and say, ha, aaj mein 100 percentile laega, right? That cannot happen. Yes. So you can't unless and until you know how deep in water you are, you would not be able to plan a strategy to get out of the well. Yes. Yeah, so you need to first measure how deep you are, right? Which means how much do you know already? Yes. What are your strong areas? What are your weak areas, right? Unless you figure those out, yes, planning anything ahead would not make any sense. Yeah. So I hope, guys, I hope I was able to give you a base idea, a very vague idea about percentile, and a very detailed idea about what would affect your score on your CAT. Yes, we will again meet in another session where we talk about which B schools have, what were their cutoffs, right? So which B schools had what cutoffs in so far, right? What could be a very vague prediction about it. Yes. Now we have live classes on a daily basis, guys. We guys have a live classes on a daily basis on Unacademy CAT channel, right? Starting from 5 p.m. where Ashish sir takes a class on LR and DI. And then Amit Surana is my name. I take a class at 6 o'clock on quantitative ability. At 7 o'clock, Bobby ma'am takes a class on verbal ability. And at 8 o'clock, Mr. Pratik sir takes a class on quantitative ability again. Yes. So if you are someone who's looking for preparation, if you are someone who you have been keeping this in mind for a very long time, but were not able to step outside to go sit in an institution or something, right? Go to an institute, prepare yourself, go to a coaching center and prepare yourself. If you are one of those guys, yes, this is a very good news for you, right? So I want you all to start taking advantage of this. I want you all to start attending these sessions and start learning whatever you can learn from these sessions, right? And we ensure that we give not our 100% but our 200%. Yes. All right. If you have any questions, please drop in your questions, and I would love to help you answer them. Yes. Okay, Salman, below 50 percentage, you would not be eligible for CAT at all. Yes, you need to have at least 50 percentage in your academics to be eligible for CAT. Yes. Aditya, of course. So in our next session, right, the next week when we meet on a session like this, I will tell you what would be the factors that will help you get a push in different B schools, right, including IIMs. Yes. All right, it might be difficult, Neha, it might be difficult, but then what matters is not just your academics, right? Your academics do have a push, do have a say in your being selected or not. But along with your academics, what else have you done? How else have you improved your profile? Do you have an experience or not? If you do not have an experience, what else have you done apart from academics? I'm talking about co-curricular and extracurricular activities. They also have an impact on your selection process. Yes. Nikhil, of course you can take CAT. Yes, CAT 2020 is meant for you. If you are someone who has just moved into the final year, CAT 2020 is for you guys. Yes. Himanshu, probably not this time, but you can surely take one, after your second year if you are pursuing. So pre-final year, you can start preparing for it. Yes. Khushi, of course, you can do it. Of course, you can do it. Hi guys, hello. Thank you very much, Shruti. Thank you very much, Yash. Aditya, very soon, very soon. So we are planning on having one this week. Yes, we will inform you in advance when the session is going to be, right? Miss Granger, of course it does. Not only your 12th, your 10th marks also do matter, right? But then that's what I'm saying. The academics have a say in your selection, but then they don't predominantly, overtake the entire selection process, right? There are other factors also that would matter, and I would love to take a session on that in this coming week. Yes. Of course, Yatendra, of course you can. You must start preparing now. Now is the right time to start preparing, of course. Nicholas, of course, yes, it is the right time to start with Unacademy's live classes also, right? Although we've covered some area, yes, you can always cope with what is done and then try to, watch what's happening live. Yes. Mr. Friend, are you an engineering graduate or are you a BCom, or are you from the commerce background? Because when you say final year or pre-final year, it is actually kind of confusing. So please tell me, when would you graduate? Yes. Miss Granger, how about we discuss this on a more personal platform, because I would want to know what you already are pursuing and whether they would matter towards your selection process or not. Yes. Okay, guys, speaking of Telegram app here, right, we have a community on Telegram. Yes, we have a community here on Telegram where there are more than 600 applicants, aspirants, everyone having the same aim of walking towards CAT and cracking it, right? So if you are someone who also has the same aim, please go ahead and join this group. The link to this group is here on the screen. All you have to do is type in this URL and you would be added to the Telegram group. I am also available on Telegram group. My ID is Surana Live. You can always go ahead and have a conversation with me. I am very much open to all conversations. Yes. And guys, if you haven't already considered the Unacademy subscription, which I keep talking about, right? The reason why I keep pushing this is because this year, right? You've seen the trend. You've seen the trend. This year, what we are going to see is a big hike in the number of applicants, right? So if more registrants, if more people register, which means more people will show up for the test, right? Ultimately, what will happen? There will be more competition, hence affecting your percentile, right? So if you are someone who has their eye on a score and want to achieve more than what you've had in your mind, or if you are someone who is afraid of the competition and wants to go up a little bit above them, right, then this is the place where it's happening. Yes, apart from the live classes and the interaction that we do on YouTube live on a daily basis, yes, it also happens in another environment where there are live polls and leaderboards, which is basically your percentile. Yes, so this will help you understand the entire concept of percentile and where you stand with respect to your competitors. Yes. The test series and analysis, like I said, guys, you would require at least one mock test, at least one full length mock test every week. That means for the next 5 weeks, you would require at least 20 mock tests, right? And based on what I have heard from the 100 percentilers, is that unless and until you take any more than 25 mock tests, right, you have to take at least 25 mock tests in order to be able to beat your competition. Yes. So, and instead of going outside and taking a separate package for your mock test, right, here at Unacademy we have an all-in-all package where learning happens, supervised learning happens, and unsupervised learning also happens, which means we will teach you something, we will help you answer a lot of questions, and you will be given test series to test where you are standing. And the analysis here is beautiful, guys. You'd be able to find out what are your weak areas and what are your strong areas, which you will be able to work on later. Yes. And the cherry on the top, ladies and gentlemen, is the live doubt clearing sessions. That is, let's say you're working something out, you're trying something out, you've been using some other notes, and you found out a question that you're not able to understand or you're not able to answer. Yes. What would you have to do? You would basically have to ask some of your friends, or probably just live with it that I was not able to answer this, right? Probably search the internet. Yes. But what is the best way out? The best way out is to ask a teacher. Yes. And the best place to do that would be where? Unacademy Plus. Yes. Join the Plus right away. We would help you not only clear your doubts, yes, but we will do it live, which means you will be able to ask us questions again, right? There could be cross questioning also. Yes. And this happens on a regular basis. That means every fourth day would be a live doubt clearing session. That basically means what? You would be able to solve all the doubts that you had, all your 3 days worth of content. You can get them clarified live from your educator. Yes. For that, what would you have to do? Download the Unacademy's learning app, install it on your phone. Yes, go for the Plus, apply for the CAT. If you have friends or relatives who are planning on taking some other tests, you can also suggest them this. Go for the subscription and look at the subscription price, guys. Yes, in the market right now, nobody is giving such quality education. At the same time, mock test, at the same time, an analysis of your entire mock test, and live doubt clearing session at a price that is way less than 1,000 rupees a month. Yes. You know, if you step outside of your house one day, go for a movie, come back, you've almost spent 1,000 rupees. Yes, one day, 1,000 rupees spent and nothing gained from that. Yeah, but here what you're doing is not spending your money, guys. Here you are investing your money, right? You're putting your money into an investment scheme that will fetch you at least 1,000 times of the money that you've invested, at least. Yes. And I'm talking about in the first go itself. Yes. So if you're planning on taking this, which I would highly recommend, right? I would recommend the 12-month package for all the final year students, right? Whether you are in your engineering or you're doing your BCom, BBA, whatever, if you're in your final year, you have to take the 12-month package because CAT is not the only thing, right? Below CAT, there are so many other tests that follow the similar pattern, right? They follow similar patterns, which means if you're preparing for CAT, you're not just preparing for one exam, right? You're preparing for every other, MBA exam, right? You're preparing for every other NBA exam. Yes. You're not only preparing for the ones in India, but also outside. Yes. GRE, GMAT, everything. Yes. Not only that, if you're preparing for your banking exams, yes, covered. If you're preparing for your, if you think that, no, this is not working for you, I would want to go into some PSU, again, covered, right? If you are someone who is wanting to, go for placements, there are aptitude tests conducted in placements, right? Boom, covered. Yes. So what would you do? Take up one course and get so many advantages, so many options, so many avenues open for you because you were able to prepare for CAT. And if you are someone in your pre-final year, right? If you are someone who is in their pre-final year, then this 24-month package is actually kind of cheaper than the 12-month package. This is what I would suggest you to do, right? As an added advantage, because you have, used my name, yes, if you use this code Surana Live, Surana is my last name, If you use my name here, you will be given an additional 10% discount. Yes, which basically means something that should have costed you 84,000, right, is first available in about 20,000, about 23,000, and you would get an additional 10% discount if you use my code. Yes, my code, ladies and gentlemen, is Surana Live, and I would hope to see a lot of you on Plus. Yes, thank you very much for listening to me. If you think you have any more questions, please drop in. I'm open for a lot of questions. Yes. Okay, a lot of questions here. Thank you so much, Lokesh. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Dhruv, of course, gaps don't matter, age doesn't matter, right? CAT does not see any of these, right? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years gap does not matter. If you have, working experience does not matter, right? Your age does not matter. Yes, CAT does not see any of those. Yes. Ananda, you can start from whatever is going live right now. Yes, I would not want you to miss out the live sessions, keeping in mind that you want to, cope with the previous ones. Yes, so start with whatever is going live right now. The previous one we will try to accommodate somewhere in your schedule. Yes. Of course, I remember you, Lokesh. Thank you so much for your support, buddy. The Rock, yes, CAT Plus subscription is what I was talking about. This here on top is my code. You can use that. I hope, Ms. Granger, your question is also answered. Yes, The Rock, your question is also answered. Yes. All right, superb, guys. It seems like I've answered a lot of questions. Manas, how many marks are required in CAT to score 95 plus percentile? Yeah, so you've seen the trend, right? You've seen the trend. Yes. So in your QA, if you are able to on total, if you can somehow score above 150, yes, 150, that is more than 50 percentage. More than 150, you are almost at 95th percentile. Yes. That basically means out of 100 you only need to answer 50 right. Yes, keeping in mind you don't answer anything wrong. Yes. Mr. Friend, I think your question is also answered. Yes. Love, no such advantage, no such advantage is given to engineers over non-engineers, right? The only advantage they have is one, they are very close with mathematics, right? Quantitative aptitude and DILR, they are a little more close with that. Yes, and hence they are able to get the score that they want, right? Other branches, we've had a big break between the school mathematics and the kind of mathematics we've been doing in our UG. Yes, so here what you would require is proper technical mathematics. Yes, so that could be one of the reasons why engineers get a better score there, right? But according to CAT, according to any IIMs, engineers do not have any leverage over non-engineers. No. Right, guys, I've had a great time talking to all of you. Yes, I've had a great time talking to all of you. I hope we will continue seeing all of you every single day. Yes, I'm gonna take a leave. I hope that you had a great Sunday, and I wish that you have a great week ahead. Thank you very much for listening to me. My name is Amit Surana. I will see you the next time. Until then, good night. Let's crack it.